If you're just joining us, my name is Bailey. I'm the Welcome Center Coordinator for Lamar University, and I'm happy to be your host for this virtual session. Without further ado, we are going to get started with our admissions team. We have Talia, Terrence, and Angie with us today. And so they are going to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about the roles of an admission counselor. You guys can go ahead and get started.
Hello, good morning. My name is Talia. I'm an admissions counselor for the Northwest Houston area. And I'm just going to give you a brief description of what an admission counselor does. So we basically are here to guide you through the process of application, and we will be there in every step of the way until you are a cardinal. And basically, we do host events where we actually go to high school events. We set up a table. We talk to you about information about the school, any questions that you might have regarding the school, the application process, and how the school is itself. As well, we do coffee chats. Basically, what we do in a coffee chat is we meet up with you either in a Starbucks or a Panera Bread, and we talk to you about, school, the application process, and if you have any questions whatsoever about that. Some students do bring their families, and it's very, it just has to do with, if you want to bring your family or you just want to come by yourself. And that is it. I'm going to pass the time to Terrence.
All right. Hi, my name is Terrence Sexton. I am the Central Texas Austin admission counselor. I also cover El Paso, well, West Texas. What I'm going to talk to you about is pretty much the things that we need once we get your application. Everybody knows to apply on Apply Texas. Once you apply to complete your application, we still need your SAT or ACT scores. For us to get those scores, you can send them through the testing agency's website. So for SAT, that will be College Board, and ACT has their own website. You just log in and you can send those scores that way. As far as your high school transcripts, usually you will contact your high school counselor and have them submit your transcripts. We can take them electronically from the counselor, or we can take them in the hard copy, the mailed copy. Currently, right now, we can still accept the mail copies. And are we talking about the like right now, how we can take the, yeah, and currently right now we can accept unofficial transcripts, but we will put a hold on your account just so we get those official transcripts before your second semester before you enroll in your second semester here at Lamar University, just to kind of combat everything going on in the world today. All right, Angie.
All right, you guys, my name is Angela Guidry, and I am the regional admissions counselor for the Dallas region. And so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what admissions counselors do as far as helping students after they've been admitted to Lamar University. So once you've been admitted, our job is definitely to help you get through that enrollment process. So we're going to help you with activating your Lamar University account, because that can be a little bit tricky sometimes. So we can help you get that reset. We also are going to help you with getting in touch with financial aid. So if you do need to make an appointment with them, we're more than happy to do that with our students. We're also going to help you with getting in touch with the housing department, so you can go ahead and get your dorm room. If you are going to be staying in campus for local, you may have to fill out a residency waiver to be able to live off campus, and you would just get in touch with the housing department or your admissions counselor, and they can get you that information. And then also, of course, we're going to get you into new student orientation, and at new student orientation, that is where you will get registered for all of your classes. You also will get to meet other future cardinals and things like that, and also have some bonding activities as well. So once you, before you get to new student orientation, though, you are going to fill out a form so we can evaluate your TSI status. If you are going to need to take TSI, they will let you know what areas you need to test in and how you can test in your local area. So our job is just very extensive. We do a lot of things to help you guys get through that process and get to the next stage and be a cardinal as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for sharing us. If they have any admissions questions, when we get to the Q&A portion here in just shortly, I'll let you guys know. For now, I'm going to mute you guys and we're going to move on. Let's welcome Ryan Lee. He's here with the financial aid department, and he's just going to give you some brief information about financial aid.
Hi, everyone. As Bailey said, my name is Ryan Lee. I'm an Assistant Director of Operations for Financial Aid. And I do have a short presentation to show you guys. I know there's a lot of information out there if you're a prospective student on going through the financial aid process, filling out the FAFSA, but we have some information related to our current circumstances with the COVID-19 virus going around, and we just wanted to give any information that we can. So without further ado, I can share that. And first we want to say, it'll let me, there we go. Yeah. You have to request reassessment or changes to your FAFSA. If you have any mitigating circumstances as a result, if you have any anything that's impacted you as a result of COVID-19, you have to request that reassessment. We do have the authority to make changes to your financial data. Section 479A of the Higher Education Act gives us discretion to be able to change your financial information from your FAFSA. What that means is maybe you had an expected family contribution that is relatively high, but due to impacts from COVID-19, that's not your case anymore because those taxes are 2 years old. We have the authority to make changes to that information, but it does have to be documented. So we would request documentation to be able to provide those changes. What FAAs and what that means is financial aid administrators, anyone in the financial aid office, consider when a request to change data elements is received. Has your family experienced unique circumstances not dealt with by the needs analysis formula? The needs analysis formula provided by the Department of Education may not adequately consider your current circumstances. And does the unusual situation warrant special treatment because it affects your family? And we have further details on that. Special circumstances like loss of employment, medical expenses, extraordinary repair to natural disaster, and that is usually, as you know, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, stuff like that. But definitely loss of employment, unusual family medical care could come into play here. And if you have those things and they're able to be documented, then we would be able to take that into consideration for your financial aid. And a quick note on the unusual family medical or dental expenses. Some of that is built into the needs analysis from the Department of Education to begin with. So those expenses would have to be extraordinary. I think at least over 10% of your AGI. Like I said, it must be documented. You must have incurred the actual expense. It can't be an estimate. It can't be we have to see the bill and it has to be paid. And you'll be asked to report all other types of assistance received related to special circumstances. If you received unemployment, if you received aid from FEMA, if you have insurance settlements, all that comes into account when we make these changes. What kind of documentation can we take? Well, there's written explanations of the special circumstances. There's third-party letters or testimonials, say from an insurance company, a medical provider, receipts and bills, payroll statements. We allow third-party documentation for dependency changes from teachers, guidance counselors, social workers, ministers, other adult relatives. And when we say dependency changes, most students under the age of 24 are going to be considered dependent, but there are circumstances where we can override that, and that would depend on testimonials and documentation from those third parties. And that's a different situation from COVID-19. We just wanted to be able to put it out there. Every school has different policies. There are a lot of rules that the Department of Education gives us, but there's also a lot of things where discretion is given to the schools. It depends on the university's policy. So you may hear one thing from one school on how much you can get or what they're able to do with your financial aid that maybe another school can't. You should be prepared to answer questions and provide documentation. We always need documentation to back up what we're doing. Nothing in federal student aid takes the place of having a plan to pay for college. It is called financial aid. It's not designed to cover all costs, and a lot of times it won't, especially if you're staying on campus. That doesn't mean we don't have flexibility. It doesn't mean we don't have things to be able to try to get you there. But we can't promise that everyone's going to be 100% covered. It's not emergency aid. Processing changes to FAFSA take time. We're currently facing a lot of that right now, and unfortunately, we just have to ask for patience. These are extraordinary circumstances, and a lot of times it's just going to take us time to process and get back to you. And then when we get to Q&A, I can answer any questions that you guys have.
All right, thanks Ryan so much. I'm going to go ahead and have the mission counselors join back on. So just give us 1 second. And while I do this, go ahead and get your thoughts together if you have any questions for admissions or financial aid. All righty. I think we have everybody back. One of the things that I'm going to go ahead and do real fast is share with you guys how to figure out who your admission counselor is. So I'm going to share my screen and show you that. So if you go to lamar.edu/admission counselor, if I could spell right. Give me just a second, my computer's being slow. Okay, so if you go to Lamar.edu, you can actually click on admissions, or it's lamar.edu/admission. And then scroll down, I think. Is it scroll down? Excuse me, guys, give me just a second. Hang on, guys, let me get to the page and then I will. Okay, while I am doing that, we did have a couple of questions that came in the chat form. One of those is it too late to apply for financial aid if I haven't submitted the FAFSA yet?
No, absolutely not. You can apply for financial aid whenever you want. Financial aid is always out there. Federal financial aid is always available in the form of the federal Pell Grant and loans. However, the sooner you apply, the more you will be considered for priority things. Certain funds, they aren't unlimited and they're very time-based. So the sooner you apply, the more eligibility you'll have to receive those.
Okay. Another
Hey, I
question
found
that
it on the
came.
website.
Oh, okay, cool. And
You want me to share my screen real quick so you can see it?
yeah, if you don't mind. It's for some reason it keeps giving me an error button. So Angie's going to share how to access to know who your admission counselor is.
So on this website, you have your admissions counselor. And you can just click the region that you're in. So we're going to do Dallas-Fort Worth. And bam, our pictures come up.
Awesome. And all the contact information too.
Yes. Super easy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angie, for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So if you are trying to figure out who your admission counselor is and who you need to email or call or text, you can go onto the admission counselor website and be able to look up your region and find out who that is. They do text, so if you are getting text from an admission counselor, it's a real person. Obviously, here's a couple that are here, and there's many more on the team. And so it is a real person that is texting you. So text them back, email them back, call them, whatever way you like to communicate. They will do. They have all three of those options. Some other questions that we have coming in are, so I haven't applied yet. Is that my first step, or can I submit my high school transcript before I apply?
Well, of course, I think the first step would be applying to the university, but I would suggest sending your transcript sooner than later, because even if we don't have an application, once we do receive your application, we can match it up. So just definitely make sure you want to send it as soon as possible, because sometimes it can take a little bit for either schools to send the transcript, or sometimes it can take us a little bit to process it as well. So the quicker you send your documents, the quicker you can get an admissions decision.
Awesome. Awesome. We have another question. So how long is the process once I submit an application? About how long does it take to get a decision?
It can take anywhere from, I don't know if anyone else can answer. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how long it takes to submit your documents, how long it takes for us to process them as well. During different times of the year, it can be busier for us. So we just ask patience, and we do try to keep you updated from when we do receive documents as well. So whenever you receive one, you should receive a letter from the admissions office later saying, hey, we're just missing this now. And you can also go and check your application status as well throughout the process, so you can stay up to date as well.
Awesome. And then the follow-up to that was on the financial aid side. Is there any kind of time frame on that? How long it takes to process?
It can vary. Yeah, that can vary as well. So once you submit your you have to have an accepted FAFSA with our school code on it, and you have to be an admitted student, and then you would be picked up for packaging. Now, you can be selected for a process called verification by the Department of Education, where we have to verify your financial documents that are part of the FAFSA. So again, it can vary on how quickly we're able to award you. Usually it's not very long, a few days, but again, every student's different.
Yeah. Is there anywhere that there's resources on like help to submit the FAFSA?
If you're having problems with the FAFSA, I know the FAFSA website has resources available, and you're able to contact FAFSA directly to be able to resolve those.
Awesome.
The school itself doesn't control FAFSA, because that's a department
Gotcha.
function of the federal government. But I would contact FAFSA, and if you ever need help, you can also contact one of our financial aid counselors, and that contact information is available on the website.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Is there any, for the admission counselors, any advice that you could give to the students once they're accepted, and like right now, because we're getting close to the fall starting, you know, the graduation's about to happen for students. Is there any advice that you can give them to kind of help them take that next step to get enrolled? Like, they're already accepted students. What should be their next step?
Well, since they're already accepted, one thing that I always make sure my students know is a lot of counselors have a list for that final high school transcript to go out. We absolutely need that final high school transcript. You don't want to run into that later on in your first semester of college, having to wait for it so you can register for your classes. And I can let anybody else add on to that.
I would say utilize the accepted student checklist that we have on our website, because it's a really useful tool. Also, as admissions counselors, we also have those checklists as well. So whenever we're at high school, or if you come to a coffee chat, we can always give you one of those as well. So you want to have a paper copy. I believe we send those in the accepted admission packets as well, don't we?
Yeah.
That's going to be like your like go-to, like hold on to that, because it's going to have everything that you need, and it's going to help walk you through all the steps to become a Cardinal. And of course, like don't be afraid to ask questions to your admissions counselor. Trust me, we hear everything. So we've been asked a lot of crazy things, but the more questions you ask, the more that we can help you.
Awesome. If there's any last minute questions, please go ahead and put those in the chat. We just have a couple of minutes here. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to ask any questions if you do have those. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add on that maybe you thought about after your presentation or anything like that? No?
No, I would just say contact our financial aid office. We are still available via phone and email if you have any questions.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this session. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the admissions and financial aid information. In our follow-up email, if you had any additional questions or want to be reached out by your admission counselor, please list that on the form that you can fill out, and we will definitely get your contact information over to your admission counselor so they can reach out to you and get your questions answered. For now, we will see you. You have about a 30-minute break. We will see you at 1 o'clock for our student panel session. Thanks and have a great day, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye.